This is the story of a superhero who creates more problems than he solves. Most superheroes help people, and everyone praises them for their good work. But this guy is completely different. Whenever he tries to help someone, people end up insulting him instead of thanking him. In fact, he is probably the only superhero who makes people worried the moment they see him. The movie begins with a group of criminals escaping after a robbery. Police cars are chasing them through the streets. The chase is being shown live on every TV channel in the city. At the same time, we see a drunk man sleeping on a bench beside the road. He is completely passed out because of alcohol. This drunk man is actually the city's superhero, and his name is Hancock. He has no family and no home. He simply sleeps wherever he finds a place. A young boy walks up to him and shakes him awake. The boy says, "Hey, you drunk guy, can't you see what's happening? Look at the TV." Hancock slowly looks at the television. He sees the same news about the robbers running away from the police. After watching it, Hancock looks at the boy and says, "I never promised to save everyone. Now leave me alone." The boy feels upset after hearing that. Before leaving, he calls Hancock a drunk. The moment Hancock hears that word, he gets angry because the entire city keeps calling him a drunk to make fun of him. Hancock then puts on his sunglasses. He picks up his bottle of alcohol and smashes the bench as he flies into the sky. He heads straight toward the place where the robbers are trying to escape from the police. But while flying there, he causes a lot of damage across the city. Hancock suddenly lands right inside the robbers' moving car. The criminals are shocked to see him. They immediately start shooting at him. The bullets do nothing to Hancock because he cannot be hurt. However, the bullets destroy his bottle of alcohol and break his sunglasses. This makes Hancock even angrier. He sticks his legs through the bottom of the car and drags them across the road. The road gets badly damaged before the car finally comes to a stop. The criminals become furious and shout at Hancock. They call him a drunk once again. Hearing that word pushes Hancock over the edge. He steps out of the car and throws the entire vehicle high into the air. The car crashes into several buildings one after another. Many buildings are badly damaged because of his actions. Finally, Hancock throws the car onto the top of a tall building where it gets stuck on the tower. After creating all this destruction, he simply flies away. Soon, the news reports that Hancock successfully stopped the criminals, but the reporter also says that he caused almost $9 million in property damage while doing it. Because of this, the people become even more angry with him. Instead of thanking him, they continue insulting him. Meanwhile, Hancock is sitting inside a bar and watching the news on television. He does not care at all about what people are saying. He calmly listens to all the insults because he has heard them so many times that they no longer bother him. The next day, we see a railway crossing where a businessman gets trapped in the middle of the tracks. Cars are stuck in front of him, and more cars are blocking him from behind. To make things worse, his own car refuses to start. At the same time, a fast-moving train is coming straight toward him. The businessman realizes that there is no way he can survive. Just then, Hancock arrives at the scene. He stands directly in front of the speeding train like a solid wall. The train cannot move him even an inch. Instead, Hancock completely crushes the front of the train and brings it to a stop with a single powerful impact. After stopping the train, Hancock walks outside, expecting people to appreciate what he has done. But instead of thanking him, everyone starts yelling at him again. Hancock did save one man's life, but when he stopped the train, all the train cars crashed into each other and went off the tracks. Because of that, there was massive damage everywhere. The crowd begins insulting Hancock. They call him a drunk and blame him for all the destruction. They tell him that nobody needs him and that he should leave. Hancock does not react at all. He simply stands there and listens to everything without saying a word. Just then, the businessman whose life Hancock saved walks toward him. His name is Ray. He shakes Hancock's hand and sincerely thanks him for saving his life. Ray then turns to the crowd and says that he also has a family. He tells them that if Hancock had not arrived in time, he would never have seen his family again. Out of everyone standing there, Ray is the only person who is happy with Hancock because Hancock is the reason he is still alive. After a while, the crowd leaves while continuing to insult Hancock. Ray then tells Hancock that his car is no longer working. He asks if Hancock can take him home. Hancock agrees without any problem. He lifts the entire car into the air and flies it like an airplane. A few moments later, he lands in front of Ray's house in his own unique style. As soon as they arrive, Ray's son comes outside and asks his father why he came home so early today. Ray smiles and tells him that he found a very short shortcut. Then Ray points at Hancock and asks his son if he knows who this man is. The boy immediately says that he does. He happily says that this is Hancock. The child becomes very excited because he is a huge fan of Hancock. However, Ray's wife Mary is not happy to see him at all. She says that Hancock is the same man who keeps destroying the city and causing trouble for everyone. Ray explains that Hancock saved his life today. He tells her that if Hancock had not been there, he would not be alive anymore. After bringing Ray home safely, Hancock says that his job is done and that he should leave now. But Ray stops him and says that dinner is already ready. He invites Hancock to stay and eat with the family. Hancock accepts the invitation conversation, and soon they are all sitting together at the dinner table. During dinner, Ray's son tells Hancock that a boy in his neighborhood bullies him every single day. Hancock gives him some very bad advice. He tells the boy not to listen to the bully anymore. Instead, he should kick him right between the legs. Hancock says that after that, the bully will never bother him again. Hearing this, Ray's wife quickly tells Hancock not to teach such things to a child. After dinner, Hancock gets ready to leave. Before he goes, Ray talks to him seriously. He says that he wants people to respect Hancock because he has amazing powers that can be used for good. Ray explains that he wants people to remember Hancock with respect instead of calling him bad names. He also says that he can help Hancock change his image. Before Hancock leaves, Ray gives him his business card. He tells Hancock to call him if he ever decides that he wants to change himself. Hancock quietly takes the card and flies away. Later that night, Ray's wife asks him why he is trying to help a drunk man that nobody in the city likes. She says that if Ray keeps spending time with Hancock, people will start looking at him badly too. But Ray says that Hancock is not a bad person. He believes Hancock only needs someone to guide him in the right direction. At the same time, we see that Hancock never actually left. He is sitting on the roof of Ray's house and quietly listening to their conversation. After hearing everything, Hancock becomes very sad because he realizes that people truly think the worst about him. At the same time, he starts believing that Ray's wife is not a kind person. But he also understands that Ray has a genuinely good heart. After hearing Ray's words, Hancock decides that it is finally time to change himself. He wants to prove to everyone that he can be a real hero. He wants the same people who always insult him to see him in a different way. The very next day, Hancock goes back to Ray's house. As he walks through the neighborhood, a young boy calls him a drunk. Hancock calmly asks the boy, "What's your name?" As soon as the boy tells him his name, Hancock realizes that this is the same kid who bullies Ray's son every day. Hancock then looks at him and says, "Go ahead, call me a drunk one more time." The boy is not scared at all. He smiles and calls Hancock a drunk again. The moment Hancock hears that word, he grabs the boy and throws him high into the sky. He throws him so high that the boy disappears into the clouds. Just then, Ray arrives and asks Hancock what is going on. Hancock casually replies, "Nothing." A few seconds later, the boy starts falling back toward the ground at full speed. Before he can hit the ground, Hancock catches him safely. After getting the biggest scare of his life, the boy starts crying and runs home while calling for his mother. Ray looks at Hancock and asks, "Did you really throw that kid into the sky?" Hancock quickly denies it. He jokingly says that the boy kept asking him for a ride in the air. Hancock says he even warned him that it could be dangerous, but the boy refused to listen. So he finally decided to give him a little ride. After that, Hancock and Ray go inside the house. Ray tells Hancock that he is actually a good man who wants to help people, but instead of getting respect, people only insult him. Hancock agrees. He says that he always tries to help others, but nobody appreciates good deeds anymore. He tells Ray that every person he has ever helped except Ray has only cursed him. Ray explains that Hancock's intentions are good, but the way he helps people is completely wrong. Then Ray shows Hancock a video. In the video, Hancock is wearing torn clothes and stealing ice cream from a shop. All the children standing nearby are laughing at him. Ray tells Hancock that he should never behave like that because actions like these make people lose respect for him. Hancock looks at the video and says that he does not even remember when it happened. Ray then shows him another video. In that video, a giant whale is stranded on the beach. Many people are pouring water over it and trying to save its life so it can return to the ocean. But then Hancock arrives. Instead of helping carefully, he grabs the whale by its tail and throws it back into the sea. The whale flies through the air and crashes straight into a boat. The boat is completely destroyed, and even the whale gets injured. Hancock immediately says that it was the boat owner's fault because he should not have been there. Ray tells him that the boat owner actually filed a lawsuit against him because of that accident. Ray then explains that Hancock fixes one problem but creates many more. That is the real reason why people hate him. If he truly wants people to respect him, he must change the way he acts and the way he helps others. While they are talking, a news report starts playing on the television. The reporter says that Hancock has made people's lives more difficult instead of making them easier. She says that the city does not need Hancock anymore. She also reveals that nearly 600 cases have been filed against him at the police station. Even after all these cases, Hancock has never visited the police station or appeared in court. The reporter says that Hancock is abusing his superpowers. In reality, this is true because even the government cannot control him. Hancock is so powerful that thousands of police officers together cannot arrest him. No officer has enough courage to put handcuffs on him, and even if someone tried, Hancock would simply throw that officer high into the air with his super strength. After watching this news report, Ray comes up with a new idea. He tells Hancock that if people really want him to go to jail, then he should do exactly that. Ray says that once Hancock is gone, people will finally understand how important he really is. At first, Hancock refuses to go to jail, but Ray calmly explains that it will only be for a short time. He also reminds Hancock that if he does not like being in prison, he can easily break out whenever he wants because nobody has the power to stop him. After thinking about it, Hancock finally agrees with Ray's plan. The very next day, Hancock is sent to prison. As soon as he enters the prison, all the inmates gather around him. Every prisoner is angry because most of them were captured by Hancock and sent there. Hancock looks at one large inmate and tells him to move out of the way before he regrets it. The inmate refuses to listen. Without wasting another second, Hancock grabs the head of a smaller prisoner standing nearby and forcefully slams it into the big inmate's backside. Seeing this, all the other prisoners immediately step back in fear. As the days pass, the situation outside the prison starts getting worse. Robberies and violent crimes increase all over the city because there is no one left to stop the criminals. Slowly, people begin to realize that even though Hancock caused a lot of damage, he was still keeping the city's crime under control. The next morning, Ray comes to visit Hancock in prison. They begin talking through the visitor's telephone. Hancock cannot hear Ray's voice clearly through the glass, so he simply scratches a hole through the glass with his fingernail and tells Ray that he can hear him perfectly now. Ray informs Hancock that the court has sentenced him to 8 years in prison. Hancock gets angry the moment he hears this. He says that he cannot stay there for even one day, let alone 8 years. Ray tells him to stay calm. He explains that if Hancock behaves well and cooperates with everyone, his sentence could be reduced. But Hancock ignores the advice. He smashes the glass door of his prison cell and walks out. The prison guards watch him leave, but nobody has enough courage to stop him. Ray quickly reminds Hancock that he is a superhero and that running away like a criminal does not suit him at all. Ray then tells Hancock not to worry because the city's crime rate has already started rising after his arrest. People are slowly beginning to miss him. Ray believes that very soon the city itself will ask for Hancock's help. When that happens, he should walk out like a true hero. After hearing this, Hancock finally decides to trust Ray again. More days pass while Hancock remains inside the prison. One day, the inmates are playing basketball in the prison yard. Hancock walks over, takes the ball, and says that he also wants to play. He throws the ball from an unbelievable distance, and it goes straight into the basket. The other prisoners have no idea how to stop him. Hancock keeps scoring from far away again and again until his team wins the game. That evening, Ray comes to visit Hancock once more. This time, he starts teaching Hancock how to become a better person. Ray tells him that whenever someone does something good, he should appreciate them by saying, "Good job." Hancock keeps repeating those words over and over so he can remember them. At the same time, the television news shows that the city has become much more dangerous since Hancock went to prison. Crime is spreading everywhere, and people are becoming more and more frightened. Many citizens now believe that if Hancock were free, the crime rate would never have become this bad. The following day, Hancock is once again playing basketball with the other inmates. During the game, the ball flies over the prison wall. Without thinking twice, Hancock jumps right out of the prison to go and bring the ball back. The guards and the prisoners watch Hancock jump outside the prison wall. Everyone believes that he is finally escaping and will never come back. For a few moments, Hancock also thinks about running away, but then he remembers Ray's words. He reminds himself that he wants to become a better person. So instead of escaping, Hancock jumps right back into the prison. The next day, while Hancock is sleeping in his cell, a prison guard comes to him and says that the police commissioner wants to see him because the police need his help. A group of armed robbers has attacked a bank. They have taken many people hostage and the police are unable to stop them. Hancock has been waiting for this moment because he wanted people to ask for his help instead of forcing it on them. Before leaving, Hancock stands in front of a mirror and puts shaving cream on his face. He then uses his fingernail like a razor and gives himself a clean shave. After that, he wears the new suit that Ray gave him and heads toward the bank. This time, Hancock lands gently outside the building without causing any damage. It is the first time he has ever made an entrance without destroying the area around him. Hancock remembers Ray's advice and politely tells one of the police officers, "Good job." The officer replies that compliments can wait. He tells Hancock to go inside the bank as quickly as possible because many innocent people are trapped. He also explains that a female police officer is badly injured and still fighting the robbers. He asks Hancock to rescue her first. For the first time, Hancock follows someone else's instructions without arguing. He quickly reaches the injured officer. Trying very hard to act politely, Hancock asks her, "Can I touch you?" The officer replies, "Do whatever you want. Just get me out of here." Hancock immediately picks up a nearby car and uses it like a shield. He blocks the bullets and safely carries the injured officer back to the police outside. After dropping her off, Hancock once again tells the officers, "Good job," before going back into the bank to save the remaining hostages. Inside the building, there are 4 armed robbers holding many people hostage. All 4 criminals are ready with their guns. They plan to shoot anyone who enters the bank. Suddenly, one of the glass windows shatters at incredible speed, and one of the robbers disappears without anyone seeing what happened. The other three criminals look around in complete confusion, wondering where their partner went. Before they can understand anything, another window breaks. Hancock appears again and instantly takes away two more robbers. Now only the gang leader is left inside the bank. Hancock finally stands in front of him. The gang leader becomes furious and tells Hancock that bombs have already been planted inside the building. He says that if Hancock takes one more step, he will press the remote control in his hand, and everyone inside the bank will die in the explosion. As if that was not enough, the criminal also calls Hancock a drunk. The moment Hancock hears that word, he becomes angry because he hates being called that. Hancock calmly picks up a metal plate lying nearby. He sharpens its edge with his fingernail until it becomes razor sharp. Then he looks at the robber and says, "Say it one more time." The gang leader confidently calls Hancock a drunk again. The very next second, Hancock throws the sharp metal plate straight at him. In the next scene, Hancock walks outside and hands a severed arm to the police officer. It is the robber's arm, and it is still holding the bomb remote. Because of this, the bombs can no longer be triggered. For the first time, Hancock saves everyone without causing any damage, and all the hostages are rescued safely. After everything is over, Hancock once again looks at the police officer and says, "Good job." This time the officer smiles and replies, "Not me. You are the one who did a great job today." Everyone standing outside the bank starts clapping for Hancock. For the first time in his life, people are cheering for him instead of insulting him. Hancock finally receives the respect he always wanted, and all of this happens because of Ray's advice. At the same time, Ray is watching the news on television. He feels proud and happy after seeing how much people appreciate Hancock. That night, Hancock goes out for dinner with Ray and his family. While they are eating, Ray starts asking Hancock questions about his past. Ray says that Hancock must have come from another planet because nobody on Earth has powers like his. Hancock thinks for a moment and then begins telling his story. He says that many years ago, someone attacked him very badly and hit him on the head. When he finally woke up, he was lying in a hospital. After regaining consciousness, he realized that he could not remember anything. He did not know who he was or who had attacked him. Hancock says that he believes he was probably an ordinary man before that accident. He thinks his powers may have appeared after the injury because when a nurse tried to give him an injection, the needle bent instead of piercing his skin. He also noticed that all the wounds on his body healed by themselves within a few hours. The doctors were shocked because they had never seen injuries heal so quickly. Hancock then says that when he checked his pockets, he found 2 old movie tickets. Those tickets were already 80 years old. That means this incident happened about 80 years ago. While telling this story, Hancock becomes emotional. He says that nobody came to visit him in the hospital. He was completely alone. Even today, remembering that day makes him feel sad. He also says that the people who knew him 80 years ago are probably no longer alive. As soon as Mary hears this, tears begin rolling down her face. Ray notices this and asks her why she is crying. Mary replies that she feels sorry for Hancock because he has suffered so much in his life. Later that night, Ray drinks too much and becomes completely drunk. Hancock helps him stand up and takes Ray, Mary, and their son back home. After reaching the house, Hancock carries Ray to his bedroom and leaves him there to rest. Meanwhile, Mary is working in the kitchen. Hancock walks over to her and the two of them begin talking. As the conversation continues, they slowly move closer to each other. A moment later, they start kissing, but suddenly something strange happens. Mary quickly pushes Hancock away with incredible force. Hancock flies through the wall of the house and crashes onto a car parked outside. Hancock is completely shocked because he cannot understand what just happened. He knows that nobody has ever been strong enough to move him. He cannot believe that Mary was able to throw him that far. Mary then comes outside and quietly tells Hancock that she is just like him. She warns him never to tell Ray the truth because it will only create problems. Hancock is left completely speechless after hearing this. The next morning, Ray wakes up and notices the huge hole in the wall of his house. He looks at Mary in surprise and asks if someone attacked their home during the night. Mary quickly makes up an excuse. She tells Ray that Hancock simply sneezed last night and the force of his sneeze caused all this damage. Ray is amazed after hearing that. He cannot believe that even Hancock's sneeze could destroy part of a house. Just then, Hancock arrives at the house. He notices Mary pretending to be weak in front of Ray. She acts as if she cannot even open a bottle, so she hands it to Ray to open for her. When Ray sees Hancock, he jokes and says, "Please don't sneeze on me." Hancock looks confused and asks, "What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about." Before Hancock can answer Ray, Mary quickly interrupts the conversation. She walks over to Hancock and says that Ray is talking about the hole in the house that was caused by Hancock's sneeze last night. Hancock understands that Mary is trying to hide the truth, so he simply says, "Oh, that sneeze." Just then, Ray receives an important business call and becomes busy talking on the phone. Taking advantage of the situation, Hancock quietly walks into the kitchen where Mary is working. Without saying a word, he suddenly stabs a sharp fork into Mary's shoulder, but nothing happens to her. Instead, the fork bends. Hancock is shocked, but he does not stop there. He grabs a rolling pin and hits Mary on the head with full force. Mary is completely unharmed, while the rolling pin breaks into pieces. Mary stares at Hancock with an angry look, and Hancock finally realizes that she is just like him. Even then, Hancock is not satisfied. He picks up 2 frying pans and is about to hit her again, but Mary turns around and looks directly at him. Hancock immediately stops. Mary gives him one final warning and tells him to stop this childish behavior. Hancock says that they need to talk in private. Mary refuses and says that she does not want to talk to him at all. Hancock then tells her that if she does not meet him alone, he will tell Ray everything. After hearing this, Mary finally agrees. Hancock tells her that he will be waiting for her at his place at 4 o'clock that evening. Later that day, after Ray leaves for his office because of work, Mary secretly goes to Hancock's address. As soon as she arrives, she tells him to ask whatever he wants to know. Hancock asks the biggest question on his mind. He wants to know who they really are and why they both have these incredible powers. Mary explains that throughout history, some people have called them gods, others have called them angels, and in today's world, people simply call them superheroes. Hancock then asks if there are more people like them. Mary tells him that there used to be many, but they have all died. Now only the 2 of them are still alive. Hancock asks one final question. He wants to know what relationship they have with each other. Mary tells him that they are brother and sister. Hancock immediately refuses to believe her. He says that if they were really brother and sister, they would never have kissed the previous night. Mary still insists that she is telling the truth, but Hancock says that she is lying and hiding something important from him. Mary tells him that she has already said everything she wanted to say. If he does not believe her, that is his choice. Hancock then warns her that if she refuses to tell him the complete truth, he will go directly to Ray and find out everything from him instead. After saying this, Hancock flies into the sky. Mary quickly follows him to stop him, and a huge fight begins between them. They exchange powerful blows in the air. Mary even lifts a massive truck and throws it directly at Hancock. But Hancock is completely unharmed. The battle continues as both of them keep flying through the city. During the fight, they destroy many buildings and cause heavy damage everywhere. Finally, they crash into the same building where Ray works. From inside the building, Ray looks out of the window and sees Hancock and Mary fighting on the street below. He is completely shocked when he realizes that his own wife is flying through the air. Later, the story moves back to Ray's house. Ray asks Mary if what he saw was real. He says that he clearly saw her flying. Mary finally decides to tell him the truth. She admits that she has powers just like Hancock. Ray then asks what kind of relationship she and Hancock share. Mary reveals the real truth. She says that she and Hancock were actually husband and wife, but they were never officially married. Because of that, they have remained alive until today. Hearing this, both Ray and Hancock are left stunned. Hancock finally realizes that the real truth has come out. But Ray becomes upset with Mary and tells her that she has betrayed him because she should have told him all of this long ago. Mary then tells Ray that no matter where she goes in the world, Hancock will always find her. She says that this is their curse. That is why she has always tried to stay away from him. Mary explains that whenever she and Hancock come close to each other, both of their lives are put in danger. They can never stay together because the closer they are, the weaker they become. Their superpowers slowly disappear, and they start turning into normal humans. If they remain together for too long, they will grow old and eventually die. That is the reason Mary has always kept her distance from Hancock. After learning the entire truth, Hancock leaves with a heavy heart and goes to a bar to buy a bottle of beer. As he is taking the bottle from the shop owner, the owner quietly points toward the floor. 2 armed robbers have entered the shop, but the moment they saw Hancock, they quickly hid behind the counter. Hancock reaches under the counter, grabs one of the robbers, and throws him straight outside the shop. The second robber immediately points his gun at the shop owner. Hancock quickly throws him outside as well, but during the fight, Hancock is hit by 2 bullets. For the first time in his life, he feels real pain. He looks down at his stomach and sees blood coming out of the bullet wounds. The bullets have actually injured him. This proves that Mary was telling the truth. Since they came close to each other, Hancock has started losing his powers and becoming like a normal human. After the incident, Hancock is taken to the hospital. Mary comes there to see him. She tells Hancock that his condition is only because he came too close to her. She explains again that whenever they are near each other, both of them lose their powers. She tells Hancock that he must stay away from her if he wants to recover. Once they are separated again, his powers will return. Hancock then asks how they became separated in the first place. Mary begins telling him the story. She says that hundreds of years ago they lived together, but after some time, they realized that staying together made both of them weak. That is why they decided to separate. Mary then points to a scar on her neck. She tells Hancock that the scar is thousands of years old. Long ago, a group of people attacked her with swords. Hancock fought them and saved her life, but she was left with that scar. Then Mary shows Hancock a burn mark on his hand. She says that back in 1850, some people set their house on fire. Hancock rushed into the burning house to save her. During the rescue, his hand was badly burned, and that burn mark has remained ever since. Hancock then says that all of that can wait. What he really wants to know is what happened 80 years ago, because he cannot remember anything before waking up in the hospital. Mary finally explains the truth. She says that 80 years earlier, they were living together in Miami. One day, they were going to watch a movie. Those were the same movie tickets that Hancock later found in his pocket after waking up in the hospital. While they were on their way to the theater, a man attacked Hancock with a metal rod and struck him hard on the head. Hancock suffered a serious head injury and lost consciousness. When he finally woke up in the hospital, he had lost all of his memories. Mary says that after seeing this, she quietly left because she already knew that staying close to Hancock would only put both of them in danger. That is why she has always stayed away from him. She tells Hancock that he should also stay away from her because he is a superhero. The world needs him more than they need to be together. While the two of them are talking, 3 armed criminals suddenly enter the hospital. One of them is the same robber whose arm Hancock cut off with the sharp metal plate during the bank attack. He has come to take revenge. As soon as the criminals see Hancock lying helpless on the hospital stretcher, they immediately open fire and start shooting at him. Mary immediately jumps in front of Hancock to protect him. Because of that, 2 bullets hit Mary instead. Blood starts coming out of her body because both she and Hancock have become weak after staying so close to each other. Hancock somehow gets back on his feet and starts fighting the attackers. He has not completely turned into a normal human yet, so he still has a small part of his powers left. Using that remaining strength, Hancock kills 2 of the 3 criminals. Now only the one-armed robber is still alive. This is the same man whose arm Hancock cut off during the bank robbery. Just as Hancock tries to stand properly, the robber comes up behind him and fires several more bullets. Hancock is hit again and blood starts pouring from his body. He becomes even weaker. At the same time, Mary's condition gets worse. Her heartbeat begins to slow down, and the doctors try to bring her back by using an electric shock machine. Hancock is now lying helpless on the floor. The one-armed robber walks over to him and points a gun at his head. He tells Hancock that he has finally become an ordinary man. He says that now he can kill him once and for all. Just as the robber is about to pull the trigger, Ray suddenly arrives. Ray swings an axe and cuts off the robber's other hand, the one holding the gun. Now the criminal has lost both of his hands. On the other side, Mary's heartbeat completely stops. The doctors believe she has died, so they stop trying to save her and walk away. At that moment, Hancock remembers what Mary told him. She had said that whenever they move away from each other, their bodies start recovering and their powers return. As soon as Hancock understands this, he gathers all the strength he has left. He slowly reaches the hospital window, breaks the glass, and jumps outside. He tries to fly, but he cannot. His powers are still too weak because Mary is still close to him. However, as soon as Hancock gets farther away from the hospital, Mary's heartbeat becomes slightly stronger. Hancock makes another jump, but he still cannot go very far and falls back to the ground. Even so, his powers begin returning little by little. At the same time, Mary's heartbeat also becomes stronger. Hancock then makes one final powerful jump and travels much farther away from Mary. The moment he gets far enough from her, Mary suddenly opens her eyes and starts breathing again. Hancock's decision to leave has saved her life. 1 month later, we see Ray, Mary, and their son living happily together. Hancock still stays in touch with Ray and often calls him to ask how Mary is doing. During one of those calls, Hancock tells Ray to look up at the sky. Ray, Mary, and their son all look toward the moon. They see a giant heart symbol there. Ray's son smiles and says that Hancock made it. In the final scene, Hancock returns to the city once again. He is back as a true superhero, ready to protect people and save the city. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you liked this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel to see more such videos. Thanks for watching.